so that we can send this out. That way, if you have any colleagues who were unable to attend, we'll send it out. You can share it with them. And also, if you just need a refresh on something, we'll send out the slide deck and the recording later today after the webinar is over. All right. With no further ado, let's get going. So this is Taylor Shanklin, and we've got Kelly Frost here as well. We're both with Kimbia, and really happy to talk to you today about social media and do sort of the first take of social media tips and tricks for how to be the most successful on social media during your giving day. So we're going to talk about hashtags, handles, and memes, how to get your social media game ready for the big giving day. And then in the second webinar later in April, we're going to be talking about how to get your game on the event day and also after the event day, things to do. So Kelly, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Kelly Frost, and I'm the Marketing and Events Manager here at Kimbia. I have been here for 5 years, so I'm excited to talk through social media with you guys. Some of my loves are coffee and ice cream, and I especially love coffee-flavored ice cream. I love getting together with my girlfriends and playing board games and shopping, and my one superpower, if I could pick anything, it would be to blink and be somewhere. So that way we no longer have to deal with traffic and cars. And you could get so much more done in your day. So yeah, I'm excited to be here and talk with you guys.
Cool. And I'm Taylor Shanklin with Kimbia. I am the senior product marketing manager here and work with Kelly. She and I just sort of do all things marketing here at Kimbia together all day long. My strengths are I particularly love peer-to-peer fundraising and crowdfunding events. So giving days are really exciting. I love karaoke. I love coffee, and coffee. And if I had a superpower, it would be that I could snap my fingers and have a Starbucks in my hand, like my picture there. I've been working with nonprofits for just about a decade now in a variety of ways, helping to implement online digital strategies and programs and writing for campaigns and things like that. So really excited to talk about social media here today with you guys.
Yeah, and we should let you know also that we'd love for you guys to be tweeting and messaging us on Facebook during the webinar. So you can message Kimbia, and I work on that. So I do all the social for Kimbia, and you can do that at Kimbia Inc. And you can also tweet or message Taylor at T-Shank Cycles.
Cool. All right, and also if you have any questions during the webinar today, we'll keep an eye on the questions box, and we want this to be interactive, and we want to be able to answer your questions. So if something comes up, let us know. We will also open it up for questions at the end and get through any of the questions that we got throughout the presentation. Okay, so why is social media important? I think we all probably are aware that people use social media a lot today. It spans all age groups. It spans, all communities, all income levels. Everyone is on social media. And people are on different types of social media. There's so many different, platforms out there. So what we want to do today is really break that down and give you some tips and tricks on what we feel like is the most effective for you to raise awareness with your giving day. Social media is a great way to engage and connect with your constituents on a more personal level. It's a great way to increase excitement and really empower your supporters to reach out to their networks and spread the word for you. Here's some fun facts for you, taken from Give Local America 2015 and what we saw be successful with social media. So the number one referral source outside of just direct links from your website was Facebook. That's where a lot of traffic was coming in where we see a lot of traffic come in on giving days just in general. 75% of participating nonprofits reported social media as being really effective or highly effective on that giving day. So we've done some research to hear back from our clients who do giving days with us, and the majority of them say that social media does really empower their supporters and increase their reach on that day. 1 in 3 donors learns of the Giving Day event through social media. That's a really, really big number, and that's why we think social media engagement on the Giving Day, before the Giving Day, after the Giving Day is so important. And also, here's another fun fact: 40% of donors promoted the day on their social channels. So again, as we talk about engagement and expanding your reach and using your supporters to share the word and spread the word and gain an even greater reach, social media is a great way to do that. Kelly, do you have anything else to add on here?
Yeah, I want to say that these stats came from a specific giving event during Give Local America in 2015. And I think that this was gathered from a survey after the event. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're doing a giving day, that putting together a survey and figuring out some of these questions to ask is a great way to learn from your event and expand and grow in the next year.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, survey exactly is a great way to learn from what worked well for you and then put that into the next year, or drop the things that didn't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And spend your energy on something else. So, like we said, that's the incredible power of social media. It's a way to really just amplify the voice of your organization by using the power of the crowd. I mean, that's a big part of, I think, why it's called crowdfunding, is it uses the power of the crowd.
And we know that social media can seem overwhelming, especially with all of the different tools out there. So we really just want to take you through a couple of them and just let you know that you can start small and still see success from that. And you don't have to jump in and do everything at once. Just take it little steps at a time. So we're going to go through some of these different tools right now.
Yeah, we want to break it down and make it easy. This is an overview of the social media channels and the different types of content you can do as social media. We'll be sending out this deck, so don't feel like you have to quickly take a screen grab or like take really fast notes on this. I know there's a lot of information on this slide, but when we send out on the deck, take a little time to look at this one and digest it and think about the types of content that you can get prepared and ready before the day, like things like stories, blog posts, any promotional videos that you can kind of get ready to go before the day and share those out on social media on the day of the event. Then, of course, there's things like live video, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. That's, something where you're not going to necessarily prepare it, but you'll just use it as an opportunity to, create a sense of urgency and fun with doing some live video. Graphics and images, we've got some tips and tricks on that as well. And then, of course, linking to your homepage from all of the social media sites that you're using. And what we'll talk about here is break down there. Like Kelly said, there are so many different platforms out there, and it can become overwhelming really easily. I don't think that you have to get on every single social media platform. Try to look at the ones that have the largest audience, the ones that we're going to talk about today, and do a really good job at those, right? Instead of trying to do all of the things, do the ones that really have the largest audiences and are proving with data and reports and trends that we watch, the ones that prove to really give you the most bang for your buck, basically. Exactly. So social sites explained with donuts.
So this is just a quick, fun way to kind of get a bigger picture of what each platform is best used for.
Yeah. So just breaking it down, Instagram, if any of you are on Instagram, it's a lot of photos, right? We do see a lot of things that people are eating on Instagram. So I love that example because it's an image-based and video-based platform. There's not a lot of text going on there. LinkedIn, I like this. My skills include donut eating. So if you do have a LinkedIn page for your nonprofit, that's a great way to, again, share out within your professional networks what your organization is doing. If you don't have one, I recommend setting one up. It doesn't take very long, and just putting some information about what it is that your organization does and your mission, and it's a great way to have that professional profile. Facebook is all about liking things. I like donuts. I want to maybe post a picture of my donut, but then I also want to talk about it. So in Facebook, there is more opportunity for more text and engagement and things like that is very robust there on Facebook. And then Twitter is very short form. I'm eating a hashtag donut, you know? So kind of more similar to Instagram in terms of like it's short and sweet about what you're doing, kind of like instant updates. But it is more text-based, and
the hashtags are really important in Twitter.
And we'll get into that and talk about what hashtags are and why they're important, because I know those can still be kind of confusing.
All right. So we're actually going to really go into hashtags and tagging in our next webinar. But I did want to talk first about your event hashtag. And those of you that are participating with your Giving Day, most likely you already have the event hashtag created, and you've heard of it. If not, make sure you create one and share it out. And the event hashtag is the way that you're going to identify the event in all of your social posts. So it's really important to use that and in every post so that people can go back and follow it and it can trend. It's the way for people that don't know about it to find you and to engage your supporters. So if you have any questions about the event hashtag, feel free to type them in the box and we can get into it in more detail. But we just wanted to kind of start with that, as this is kind of the name of your event in the social world.
Yeah, and hashtags are used. I know, I mean, when we started seeing Twitter come out, you know, it feels like many moons ago. That's when I started sort of first seeing hashtags, right? But really, it's a technology really that's used across all of the platforms almost. And so we're going to talk about that. So that's why it's important to pick a couple of consistent hashtags that, again, do make it easy for people to tag your event, to allow it to trend, and essentially using the hashtag as a way to make that term searchable on the platform. So
Exactly.
that's how it works, and that's why it's important. Okay, so let's talk about which social media channels you should use for your Giving Day. Again, I don't think you need to worry about being, on all of them. That can be very overwhelming, and I think it can lead to doing everyone, not as well as just focusing on the three big ones that are the most popular and doing them really well. So that's Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook is a really, really robust social media tool. I'm sure most of you probably have a Facebook account and are on Facebook personally and professionally with your organization's page. Facebook's a really great tool for engagement because you can share, text. It can be longer if you have an engaging story or a cool story of, like a mission moment with your organization. Facebook is a great way to show an image of that or a video of that, but also post something a little bit longer to really tell the story. Facebook Live, if anybody's dabbled in Facebook Live yet, is a great way to create videos. I think Facebook Live is basically a video marketing goldmine now for organizations to use, because it's not only a live video. When you do a Facebook Live video, it does air live at the time. But with Facebook, unlike some of the other platforms, with the live videos, you can actually download them. So you can save them, you can put them up on YouTube, you can put them up on other networks, you can send an email out about the video, and you can use it as a marketing and promotional video down the road. The other interesting thing about Facebook Live is that it looks like it's live whenever anyone sees it. So whether during the moment of actually being live or still continuing to just be on your page, often people will think that when they see the video, even if it's not live, they might see, oh, it's a Facebook Live, and they think it's live, and it sort of creates that sense of fun, current live stream. The nice thing about Facebook too, like I said, you can put more content on here. There's no word limit, but we do see that typically shorter, like more visual posts do perform better, and people at Facebook will tell you that as well. Kelly, do you have anything else to add here about Facebook?
Yeah, so I do. I wanted to say that we're going to talk about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram during this webinar, and I think that they are in order of importance. And so I really, if you're out there and social media is really new and scary to you, maybe just focus on Facebook. I think if you were going to tackle one, Facebook is the one to tackle. I think it's the most important for your giving day and for your organization. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that really Facebook is where you should start.
Yeah, that's a great point. I completely agree. Facebook has the biggest share of attention. So if you're trying to get attention, most people are on Facebook. It's just the most widely used social media platform out there. And agree that if you've got to choose between one, two, or three, definitely do this one first.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that's interesting about Facebook is it's very easy to set up some Facebook ads that are not expensive. If you haven't run Facebook ads before, but you've been doing Facebook for a while, I would recommend looking into doing some Facebook ads for your event, because again, it can be a great way to get some additional reach outside of people who have already liked your organization's page.
Sorry, before we move on, we did have a question that I think is more of a comment, but Facebook Live is a guarantee for at least 2,000 reached for a small nonprofit. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I wanted to go ahead and pass it on to everybody. So another vote for Facebook Live. I think that is going to be really where it's at for Giving Days this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that. That was from Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kelly, what do you think it takes in terms of, tips for Facebook success? What have you seen work well with our Giving Day clients?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to be real. I mean, you can schedule your posts ahead of time, and we are going to recommend that you do that, but it's also really important to be in the moment, to be real, to take lots of pictures, be visual, and then mostly to tell a story. That's what people are looking for, and they're going to be moved by, and that's what's going to cause them to donate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, completely agree. Last week I was at a conference and we were having a roundtable discussion about engaging people for peer-to-peer campaigns and events. And one thing that kept coming up at that discussion was how effective storytelling and mission moments are. And so when you're thinking about what should I share on Facebook that's going to actually get people to take that step to donate, share something that's authentic, that shows an actual person or community that you have, affected in a positive way with your organization and what you're doing with your mission.
So yeah, and a lot of times for events for Give Local America, when we're scheduling some social media posts for that, we're going to have graphics prepared ahead of time for different goal levels, but you also, you might have some that are blank that you're gonna insert that data in at the moment. And so just kind of be thinking through that, what can you plug ahead of time, and then what is going to be something that you need to do. There's going to be stories that pop up during the event that you're going to want to share that you can't schedule ahead of time. So just be thinking about what you can go ahead and get and not have to think about, and then what you're going to add in at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great tip. So we're going to share out some example in our nonprofit toolkit. We're going to share out example, post text. This is just a screenshot we took of what it looks like in the toolkit, where you'll get kind of an idea of types of things to share on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. So these are the ones that I was mentioning that you can schedule ahead of time. So, here's some samples for you. You're going to put in your information and the yellow spots. And then, of course, feel free to tweak them. And we encourage you to tweak them and make them more personal for you. We're just trying to give you a little bit of a head start on some stuff to go ahead and schedule it in there, good to go. And then it gives you time to think about more of the timely ones.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about some scheduling tools that you can use to make it easier to do that.
And that'll be in our next webinar.
Here's another sample. And again, what you see through here is a few things that are consistent. Always having the hashtag for your event, always saying the event name, and always including a link to your nonprofits page on the Giving Day event.
Yeah, so you want to share your specific donation page on as many as possible to encourage the donations. And then also where you see the event name, that's where you should be inserting your event hashtag. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions about that.
Right, so let's talk about Twitter. Twitter is number 2 on our list of priority and a great engagement tool and something that we see as really successful for Giving Days. Again, Twitter is a little bit more of a short format in terms of the content. It's a good way to engage your audience with quick little tweets that tell your story. Now, one thing that we'll say about Twitter too is people who are posting images and links to videos and things like that are seeing good success. We also see Twitter as kind of like the platform of animated GIFs now. So little funny animated GIF images. Some people call them GIFs, some people call them GIFs. But adding in animated GIFs seems to be this huge rage on Twitter these days, and a good tool for adding in some humor and some fun on your Giving Day to get the conversation moving forward with others and getting it shared out.
So something I'd like to add about the difference between Facebook and Twitter is that for Twitter, your followers don't have to like you. So Twitter is really important during giving events when you're trying to reach new donors who might not necessarily know your nonprofit, but they might be following the community giving event. So they, in Facebook world, they might only see your posts if they already like you, but in Twitter, if they're following the event hashtag or just checking in to see what's going on and you're using the event hashtag, they're going to see your post. And if you have a really, great, funny GIF, or you're telling a story that reaches that person, then they're going to find you on your donation page and you're going to be able to get new donors that way. So I do really think Twitter is important for that reason alone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep, and the hashtagging especially is really important on Twitter. That's how people will discover you through the Twitter, using the hashtags in the right way on Twitter. I would say people don't really use hashtags as much on Facebook. So Facebook, it's important to do it and to be consistent, but Twitter is where people will go and be searching for a specific hashtag, and that's how people will really be able to find you on that platform. And you'll gain new followers, new donors that way. So, Kelly, let's talk about some tips for Twitter success. What do you think works well on Twitter? We talked a little bit about some imagery and storytelling as well on Twitter. What are some other tips you've got?
Yeah, so this one is the one that has the character limit. So you need your post to be short and sweet. So our first tip is to be direct. Again, we can't mention stories enough. That's what social is all about. So make sure you're sharing stories and pictures, data. Twitter is really big on data. And then Twitter is also where you retweet. So if you've heard that before and you're not really sure what that means, it's a way for you to basically share someone's message, and you can add a blurb in front of that to kind of personalize it for why that's important to you, or you don't have to. But retweeting is a really great way to share other posts and engage with others on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, retweeting is a great way to organically grow your audience as well. Often if you're retweeting people, then they'll look at your page and they'll go start to follow it. They'll tweet back at you. Mm-hmm. So retweeting and proactively looking for influencers even in your local community that you can follow and retweet on your Giving Day, I think will help to kind of boost organic growth.
And during the event, if a donor posts something that you want to retweet, I kind of think of retweeting as like a pat on the back. Like you're thanking them, you're recognizing them. So that's a useful way to use retweeting during the event.
Mm-hmm. And just like with the Facebook posts, we've got some suggested posts for Twitter. Again, these are all the right character lengths, so 140 characters or less, in the nonprofit toolkit that we'll give out to you guys.
Yeah, and if you see the orange circle on the side there on Facebook, it said 1 to 2 times a day. And then Twitter, usually with Twitter, you're able to tweet more times a day without annoying people. So in social, there's this fine balance of you want to promote as much as possible, but you don't want people to unfollow you or unlike you because you're filling up their news feeds with the same information. So definitely Twitter, feel free to post a little bit more freely than you would with Facebook. And then also, I think we're going to get into this a little bit later, but during giving events, leading up to the event, you're going to want to be Facebooking and tweeting 1 to 2 times a day. But then, of course, during the event or the day before the event or after, you're going to tweet and post way more than the normal, and that's expected. So don't feel too scared about on the event day posting more than you would normally.
Yeah. And posting, like when you have milestones that you're hitting, or if you've got prizes and things like that, matches coming up with your giving day, that's a great time to think through what's a tweeting or a posting timeline, even when you've got, hey, we're almost at the top of the next hour, that sort of thing. Again, to just drive that, and incentives, excitement, and sense of urgency. And like Kelly said, Facebook, people I don't think post as much on Facebook, and so therefore they're more likely to keep seeing your post. But on Twitter, there's so much going on Twitter. That's another reason I think it's important to post more often on Twitter, because there's just sometimes people will follow hundreds and hundreds of people on Twitter, and in their feed they'll have just all day long constantly new streams of content in their Twitter feed. And so that's why really posting a lot on Twitter, you're not going to annoy people, and it's also more likely you're going to be seen if you post a lot more frequently on Twitter. And here's one more just screenshot of what it looks like in our toolkit, with some event day sample tweets. Okay, so let's talk about Instagram next. Instagram is a also very widely used social platform. It's a great tool for storytelling because it's all about the visual. Instagram really, their focus is on images and short little 15-second videos. They also recently launched a live video option too. So Instagram does also have a live video feed similar to the way Facebook works. However, one of the distinctions between Instagram Live and Facebook Live is that Instagram does not save the videos or let you download them in the same way that Facebook does. And so if you're looking for a way to create videos that you might want to use again, definitely create these with Facebook Live. But Instagram is great in terms of that live stream and using the live video feed there. Instagram also relies heavily on hashtags. Similar to Twitter, it's a way for people to find you. It's a way for people to start seeing things trending and to show up in the trending, top section of the platform.
And for Instagram hashtags, it's even more. I mean, people will hashtag 30 things after an Instagram post. So it's not uncommon to see a lot of hashtags being used in Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not a character limit on Instagram like there is on Twitter, so you can put more text and more hashtags on here. I wouldn't go crazy. I think sometimes when people do 30 hashtags, it's a little bit overwhelming, and then people it sort of like gets lost in the message of what you really want to hashtag. So, what I see people on Instagram who are really kind of like Instagram thought leaders say is like, pick 2 or 3 really strong hashtags and do those ones instead of a list of 20 to 30 hashtags. The other thing that you do need to know about Instagram is it doesn't enable linking like Facebook or like Twitter does. Now you can have a link on your Instagram profile. So what we recommend on that day is to link directly to your donation page. All right, so tips for Instagram success. I just mentioned this, but again, feature your Giving Day URL on your profile page that day. So if you have an Instagram profile link and it goes to your nonprofit website's homepage, I recommend on the Giving Day and even leading up to the Giving Day that you guys update it to your Giving Day URL. And then keep quality in mind. Make sure you're uploading good, decent quality images or videos so that they don't appear grainy, because Instagram is all about who has nice looking photos that tell a good story and people want to engage with the visuals. So having good quality. If you have an iPhone and you're taking pictures with an iPhone or a nice, Android smartphone camera, you're going to be fine. Kelly, do you have anything else to add onto this?
I don't, but I was going through the question box, and I just want to let everybody know that we will be answering your questions towards the end of the webinar.
Great. And just like we have for Facebook and Twitter, we've also got some sample text for your Instagram post to do, pre-event, event day, and post-event. And we'll be talking on the next webinar a little bit more about post-event. On Instagram, we also recommend posting 1 time a day. It's, again, sort of a little bit more like Facebook, I think, in terms of what you see in the feed. And so posting 1 to 2 times a day, I think, is going to be a good balance to not, have people unfollow you or see too much. So just a couple more tips. Like we said, use graphics as much as possible. In a study by HubSpot, colorful visuals increased engagement by 80%. So, the fun thing with social media is you can do some fun things with filters and things like that. But our tip is to keep them colorful, keep them vibrant, keep them fun, and keep them authentic, and not to overshare. Spread your posts out. Keep things short and concise and to the point. If you have a longer story to share, I would recommend posting that in the format of a blog and linking to it with a nice visual image or short video.
And if you're wondering, okay, where do I get all of these images from? Something that Taylor and I use regularly is Canva, and it is a online platform that you can create. It lets you create social media images, and it even changes the size for whichever platform you're using it for, and then it has really great free options, super easy to use. So make sure you check out Canva.
Yeah, here, in fact, I'm going to type it into the chat box real quick. Canva.com. We love it. It's a great way to quickly create really cool looking, engaging social media posts, and it's really inexpensive. It's $13 a month, and you can create some amazing social posts from that.
But I think there's even a free version.
There might be a free
version. There might be a free version, but you can upload if your nonprofit has really great photos, but you just want to figure out how to add text on top or do some other things with it. You can just use Canva for that.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely recommend it.
Yeah, it's a really great tool. So a couple more tips. Use URL shorteners. So again, these are free tools. Kelly, what's your favorite one to use? Like Bitly, create Bitly links.
Yep, and if you're using on our next webinar, we're going to talk about Buffer, which is a social media scheduling tool, but they automatically shorten your URLs. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different ones now, and definitely you want to use it for Twitter to reduce your character count.
Yeah. And have fun with it. I mean, social media is fun. It's a way to get creative. I always like to coach organizations to use humor where appropriate. I think that's a fun way to get people excited and interested in what you guys are doing. And having a theme, I think, is also really important. Start to brainstorm now. Think about what your mission is and what theme might be a good, fun, and exciting theme to get people excited about your organization on the giving day. We've talked to some clients who have done crowdfunding types of events without a theme, and then once they added in a theme, mm-hmm. their results just kind of went through the roof, because it's something for your supporters to have fun with, to get excited about when you have a good theme.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we've had a couple of people chatting in that they are also huge Canva supporters, and there's definitely a free version. So yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
if you haven't heard of Canva, make sure you check it out.
Awesome.
All right, so you're probably wondering, where do I get these creative ideas from? So we're going to just go through a couple of different ideas that will hopefully get your creative juices flowing. So we have a couple of examples here, but one of them is to get your community involved by asking them to post pictures. So I saw during a giving day a couple of years ago, an organization asked people to submit pictures of them wearing tutus. And so they had a ton of photos turned in, and they were able to use those images throughout the day. And it was really fun. And they asked their board to participate. So make sure that you're not forgetting to involve your staff and your board for different things. And I think the one Taylor was mentioning was like a superhero theme. Mm-hmm. And that's also something fun that people can creatively dress or send in different pictures for. So another idea is to utilize your space for an in-person event. I know these are online giving days, but in-person events are a great way to engage with your donors, whether it's a kickoff event or a closing event where you're going to thank everybody and watch the time clock go down and the leaderboard go up. So utilize your space. The example that we have here was a local community theater, and they posted live videos leading up to the giving event of different improv skits. And then on the event day, they invited everybody to come watch a free show. Another one is to partner with local businesses to help with promotion. One giving event last year happened to fall on National Cheeseburger Day or something. So in order to take advantage of that hashtag on Twitter, they actually worked with a local burger restaurant, and they gave away free burgers for a certain amount of time if somebody came in and made a donation. So lots of ideas there to work with community businesses. And then make sure that you're taking advantage of whatever current trend is going on. So the picture you see here is from the Miami Foundation, and their giving event was when the mannequin challenge was really popular. I don't know if anybody happened to see videos of that going around Facebook or Twitter, but they actually, so if you don't know what it is, it's basically you take a busy room. So I think there was a wedding or something, and then they have everybody stop and you take a video and everybody's posed in a frozen position. So the Miami Foundation, in their war room, they had everybody get together and freeze, and then they did a live video of the mannequin challenge, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can check it out if you want to go to Twitter and see it. It was really cool. But so keep that in mind, whatever the latest trend is, make sure you capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing about doing some sort of in-person event, that's a great way to also get some video, right? And interview people who come to your event and ask them, hey, how has our organization affected you? And that sort of stuff. So that's a great way to be able to get some of that cool live video. Okay, so what now? I mean, this is a lot. It's a lot to do. Social media, right? Kelly, what are your tips as our social media person here at Kimbia? What are your tips on how to just get organized and get it done?
Okay, yeah, I have a few. So one is to definitely assign a point person. So it's really hard when you're doing other things to stop and think about social media. So if your nonprofit doesn't have a dedicated social media person, which I know a lot of them don't, make sure that you pick someone to be in charge of it, have somebody volunteer. We even had one community foundation use a local college, they had volunteers come in and do social media for the event. So that's an option to think about as well. Make sure that you are creating a calendar to schedule out as many posts ahead of time as possible. I mentioned that a couple of times already, and I feel like it's really important to try to knock out as many saved posts as you can that you don't have to think about, and then you have time to think about the fun, exciting ones that you're going to do live. And so I put this reminder to not forget to monitor your social posts, so that way you can reply It's also, people are going to ask questions during the event, and a lot of people go to Facebook and Twitter for that now. So make sure you're monitoring and able to reply to people in a timely way. And then lastly, make sure that you have a timeline. And I know a lot of you have communication timelines set for your giving day, but you want to make sure that your social posts are coinciding with whatever email messaging you have or direct mail messaging you have. So you're kind of saying the same messages at the same time. So just don't forget to think about social media and your grand plan as well.
Yeah. And if you guys have questions about timeline and creating a calendar and things like that, let us know. We're happy to help you, sort of figure out what works for you to get organized around that. I like Kelly's idea of, getting college students to come in and volunteer for this. If you have a teenager at home, I mean, they know what to do with social media, so that could be a great way to, get them to help you out with your giving day and too. And like Kelly said, monitoring is really important. Don't just set it and forget it, because donors are very likely that they might go and they might ask you questions through social media channels that day. They might post a question about something on your Facebook page or tweet at you. So monitoring it during the day is very important. Okay, so tell us about our free toolkit.
So we will be emailing out a social media toolkit in the next few days. And in that, you're going to see some of the sample posts. You're going to see a little bit more details about the different platforms and what you can use them for. So be on the lookout for that. Someone did ask if in the toolkit we talk about the specific image sizes for each of the different platforms. And I do not think that's included, but I did recently run into a really great article that talked about all the image sizes for 2017. Because if anybody's done social media before, you know that they change the image sizes all the time. So I'll make sure to include that link in our follow-up email.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, they love to change stuff. So that's what's not only do you have to do it, but you have to keep up with it all the time. But we'll do what we can to help you guys make sure you have the latest information on what to do. Okay, so we'll go over some next steps real quick, and then we'll open up. I know we've been getting some questions in. Next steps: attend our next webinar, where we will be getting in, excuse me, it's a tongue twister. We will be getting into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of hashtagging and how to use hashtags to power your giving day. And then also going to be talking about some more free tools for scheduling and looking at your social media analytics. So, reporting back on what's working for you. And then we also are going to just get into a little bit more about what to do on the event day and after the event day is a good follow-up.
And I think we'll even dive a little bit into Snapchat and some other tools.
Okay, so let's see, what questions do we have?
All right, so one was, okay. Can you explain the difference between @IGiveLocal and #IGiveLocal? So that's a great question and something that we will dive into more in our next webinar, but just to answer you right now, the @IGiveLocal is the name of, so it's your handle, and then #IGiveLocal is the hashtag that we're talking about, where you can put that on posts and it's kind of a topic that you can search by. So anything with the @ sign in front is the actual Twitter handle.
Yeah, and the handle, I mean, that essentially just means it's like your profile page, like your Twitter page.
So that's what you would follow, is the organization's handle.
And I like that you said a hashtag really is a topic, so a trending topic.
So Shelby mentions Adobe Spark. I think that was during our Canva conversation. So it's another tool that you could check into.
It looks like we have lots of Canva users.
Okay, so the toolkit, we're going to be emailing that out after the webinar with the slides and the recording. Let's see. Okay, can you explain what a meme is? Good question, since that was in our title and we didn't actually discuss it.
You got us. No.
So Taylor, do you want to talk about memes?
Sure. So I might actually go look up the definition of a meme after this, but actually, it is a good question. So at a level, have you ever seen any of those like pictures of someone? Maybe sometimes it's a famous person with a funny look on their face or something like that, and then big block text that's like that says something. So it's normally a way to like kind of create an image and put something funny on it. Memes tend to use humor. So it's an image with big block text on it, essentially. Check out, so this was Amy that asked this. Go check out Meme Generator. I think it's memegenerator.com, or just Google meme generators, and you'll find out a little bit more about what a meme is and how to even create one. A lot of times memes are like funny pictures of celebrities or things like that with like funny sayings over them. And you can create your own memes using one of those meme generators.
Exactly. And we had one on the title page.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Dorothy saying,
back.
"Oh my." So that's an example of a meme.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to it. I know that's a lot of slides to click through.
I think we're close.
But Kelly found that meme and I thought it was funny. There we go. There's a meme. See how it's like, it's a kind of like a someone famous that you know from a movie scene, and then it's got this big block text on it. So again, people use memes a lot on Twitter and Instagram as a way to sort of like drive conversation and drive humor. And I do think that memes could be a great way for you guys to drive some of that engagement on your Giving Day event, especially if you've just, let's say you've just hit a big fundraising milestone. That would be a great time for some sort of a meme that makes sense for what milestone you just hit. Does that help answer your question? Let us know if you've got more questions about that.
Shelby, you're giving us lots of great resources. We should invite you to be on our webinar next time. She's saying that there's there's a Facebook link for businesses that you can go through and look at different ways to market your nonprofit.
Nice. Yeah, there's another tool that's really good for a website I like to follow called Adspresso. We can send this out in our email as well with our toolkit, Adspresso. And they have a lot of good articles on there about how to, do Facebook advertising, how to use Facebook effectively, stuff like that. So it's a good resource for reading up on the topic.
And Elizabeth is asking for what are some of the most successful social media campaigns that have been done. And I mean, I think I would just go through some of the examples that I mentioned before. So the fairy godmother, where they did the tutus, the different videos inviting people to come to the theater for the free show. Mm-hmm. Those are some examples of campaigns. Can you think of any other ones, maybe not Giving Day related, but just any social media campaign for nonprofits?
I think just in general, I mean, one of the biggest ones that comes to mind is the Ice Bucket Challenge that we saw a few years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was a big, unexpected social media campaign, right? And what I think is still so amazing to think about that campaign and how it got started is it was really just, it wasn't even planned. Mm-hmm. It was something that grew organically. And again, it was because they were asking people to do something that was fun. There was a theme. And again, it's like with the tutus, the fairy godmother, that's a theme. With the improv, that's a theme. With the dump ice over your head, that's a theme. And it's something that it gets people's attention. So what I would say in terms of when thinking about how to get people engaged and then get them to donate and actually convert to be a donor, try to get their attention first and wow them and then ask them. Don't go straight for the ask, right? Mm-hmm. So like do something that gets their attention, that gets them engaged, gets them to want to look at you, and then ask.
So another really popular one is the unselfie that happens during Giving Tuesday. And if you're not familiar with that one, it's where they ask people to take a picture of, is it why they donated? Or
I think so.
So it's a play on taking a selfie, but they take a picture and explain like why they gave a donation. Mm-hmm. And they use the hashtag unselfie. And also I've seen during Giving Days where they have prizes for social media. So there's different ways to do that. And you can encourage people to follow your organization and have different prizes for that. Ask people to submit pictures. I mean, really asking them to share any kind of a story on why they gave, what made them donate, what's important to them, are good ways to get people involved and engaged during the giving event.
Yeah, I love that tip. People want to, like donors, they want to be the hero. People love to talk about themselves, right? Like it's just sort of human nature. And so when they get to share their story of why they like your organization, why they support your organization, they have a platform for doing that. It can be really effective. So give them a platform by saying, "Hey, share your story with us."
I think that's all the questions for now. Last call.
All right, last call for questions. Again, we will be sharing all of this information out via email, so just be looking for an email in your inbox within the next 24 hours. We will get it out to you, and then you're free to just reach out to marketing at Kimbia and let us know if any other questions come up, and we can help you once you get that toolkit if you've got some questions.
Well, thank you everybody for your time, and we wish you the best of luck on your giving day, and we hope that you attend our webinar in April to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bye.